the sense that God began to build and to make our church a unified whole. And it was the most relieving, the most enjoyable experience, even to today, that I can say that I experienced as a pastor, is being pastor of a church that is unified and is loving. Now, we have our skirmishes periodically, but I can just I confidently say I don't think there's a church in the world that is more unified than ours is. I'm sure there is, but I just believe that about ours thing. In the sense that there's lots of lost people around us, and we need to reach them with the gospel, and we sort of need to be upfront about that with each other. Our growth may vary, and our churches may vary, but the fact is, reaching lost people is what we're about. That's what we're supposed to be doing as a church. And unity is the key to that. I really believe that when a church is unified, one of the key environments. See, growth as a farmer, what you do to grow corn is you don't make the corn grow. You understand, what is my responsibility as a farmer? What environmental issues are my responsibility? I can't take a sack of corn seed and plop it out in the middle of the field and say, God's the one who grows, so I'll trust him to do it. And what most churches have is a low-grade disunity. It's sort of an ongoing kind of thing. Where there's a skirmish over here about a Sunday school classroom or something over here about the music or whatever, there's just this ongoing kind of disunity that happens in the church, and it creates an aroma that an unchurched person who doesn't know the Bible, doesn't know much about Christianity, one thing they know for sure is that a church is supposed to be a place where people love each other, and there's this atmosphere, and it's repulsive to them. And God began to make us one. And he did that on the basis of the praying that was happening in our church. I've read a lot of books on prayer now, and I have a lot of the old classics, ones written before I was born. And when you read those books, and you say, what is the message in those old books on prayer? The message is always the same. I mean, in every one I read, Charles Spurgeon, you know, whoever it was, that it was volume. You know, we have these prayers scattered throughout the day, and the common denominator with them is that they're convenient, they're comfortable, don't cost us much in the way of sacrifice of time. And you total it all up, what we actually do pray, and it's what I call token praying. And it convinces us that I'm a prayer. I pray. But practically, what does it accomplish? And again, if it's a sort of token prayer that we pray periodically, it isn't going to happen. God doesn't honor token praying. He doesn't honor convenient praying. He doesn't honor comfortable praying. God is not going to be treated like a vending machine that is at our convenience walking by and putting in a quarter in and expecting to get something out. Dishonoring to him to expect that God's going to work and do this kind of thing in a church when we don't give him much time. I really believe, and we're going to talk about this, that God is the one who invented it, not Lee Iacocca. A sad thing about a lot of God's laws, it's like the fellow that's the pagan that discovered all the laws of agriculture and grew abundant crops of peppermint, and the Christian went broke. Basic laws of God that went undiscovered, and because the secular world does it better than we do it, we tend to think it's a secular law. It's not a secular law, it's a godly law that the world has discovered and is using it with tremendous success to make money, and we tend to ignore. That event did change my life radically, and it's changed our church radically. And there's lots of pastors who go to those prayer summits. Why are there so few that it changed as radically as it changed me? Was it just God's sovereign choosing?